So can we first talk about not letting him sleep in your bed? Mom, why don't you let her sleep in your bed? Or you know what? Let's start a different way. Why do you think that Mom won't let you sleep in her bed?
Mom does, but Dad doesn't.
Okay, so you think Mom does, but Dad doesn't. So why do you think that Mom does, but Dad doesn't?
Because sometimes she sleeps in her room and she lets me snuggle her.
Okay, that sounds very nice. Dad, why do you think she says that you don't like her to do that?
Because it takes a lot of room and our bed isn't big enough for the whole family.
Okay, so Dad, why do you think that Dad, why do you think she thinks that?
Well, I think she thinks her mom lets her, not me, because her mom is up there with just them most of the night while I'm downstairs doing homework or whatever else might be on the project list. And when I come up to bed, usually a little after midnight, I kick her out of the bed because there's no spot for me.
Okay, alright. Then what happens, Mom?
Usually we'll send her to her room, and then we'll wake up in the morning and she's in her bed. So it doesn't last very long.
I stay asleep when Dad carries me back in my room, and I didn't notice it today.
Okay. How do you think that makes her feel?
Alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
Guilty.
You feel guilty because she feels alone.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that make you feel to hear, David?
I don't know. I mean, in a perfect world, we would have a big enough bed for everyone. But that's not the reality. We already have a king, so someone's got to get the boot. And I don't feel guilty because it was when she was 5, we said she needs to start sleeping in her own room. We're doing the same thing with David now that he's 5, so
Excellent.
it's the cycle of life.
Excellent. So, when you hear what your dad says, how do you feel now that you heard your dad say why it happens?
I feel a little bored because I don't want to sit here forever.
Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, when I wake up in my room, I don't feel alone. I feel happy because we usually, when you guys are in your bed when we're sleeping, we sneak downstairs and watch TV.
Well, that's fantastic. So, so how does it make you feel to hear her say that she's not really feeling as alone as you think?
Well, I'm glad that it's not so bad, because at night she'll tell me I don't want to be in my room alone. I want to be with you. I don't like to be alone, which is why I feel bad.
I'm not alone. I'm with Davy and Artemis.
What about at night, though, when you go to sleep?
Yeah, I feel alone because I'm awake and I just feel a little lonely when I'm awake. When I'm sleeping, I don't know. They get me out of my room.
So you can feel alone, but not totally alone.
Yeah, when it's morning, I just don't understand why I'm in my bed.
Dad brought you.
So,
But every time when you get me back in my room, I always wake up. I think I was in a deep sleeper.
excellent. Well, so now how do you feel that we've talked about this?
You gotta go back to the room.
Still bored.
Still bored. Okay, but in terms of the next time you fall asleep, do you think you'll feel okay about waking up in your own bed?
No.
No. And why won't you feel okay?
Because I want to snuggle my mom and dad.
But you did get to, right? Excellent.
Sometimes Mom comes in my bed. Snuggles me.
Oh, very nice.
But we watch one show every night.
Fantastic. So, David, how do you feel now? Because before you expressed that you didn't feel, and this is a comparison to how you felt before, before you said you didn't feel bad, but now you hear that she's not as sad as you might have thought she was.
Yeah, I don't it's funny that she thinks she's sneaky. You think you sneak out in the morning? Like we don't hear everything?
And I sometimes sneak out at night to get food. Dad, do you call snake? I only get apple or Dad, do you call
I think it affirms my suspicion that the whining and the I don't want to be alone in my room is more of a I want to be in your bed than a I don't want to be alone. It's more of a manipulation tactic than a
I like their
genuine
bed because
sadness.
it's bigger. I like their bed because
Okay.
it's bigger.
Well, that's really
It's about
interesting.
this big.
So, Anthea, after hearing him say that, and after knowing your daughter, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel better about trying to get her in her own room. Just because, I think she's okay with the idea, but the fact that it's just the size of our bed that makes a difference is good to know. But I know she also likes the contact of bodies. I mean, her dad had a similar problem growing up of wanting to have a snuggle buddy. So,
Excellent.
I don't think it's
So,
all
Delilah.
on the tree.
How do you feel hearing your mom say that?
Besides boards.
Hey, come on, talk to us, please.
Okay. So, David, you've heard them both say how they feel.
A little sad.
It makes you feel sad.
A little sad and a little happy.
Excellent.
Because I have fun.
You-
I'm a little sad because I'm not with my mom and dad.
You're happy because you have fun when you get to sneak. When do you get to have fun? Before you.
In the morning, I wake up and sometimes play Barbies and sometimes don't.
Oh, excellent. So
And I watch
afterwards,
TV.
afterwards, sometimes it's fun when you find out that you're in your own room.
Right?
It feels a little sad because I get sad I'm alone and a little happy in the morning.
So, how does it make you feel, David, to hear that she feels happy and sad?
That tracks. That tracks.
Excellent.
That tracks. I wish it
So-
was all happy, but
So let's look at.
Okay, I was a little sad and a little happy.
So, Delilah, I'm going to ask you a big question. So, what do you think the problem is? Because at the beginning, you said the issue was not being able to sleep all night in bed with your mom and dad. What do you think the real problem is? And it can be anything you feel. All your feelings are valid. Or has your feelings changed since we
The
started talking about
problem is that keeps taking me out of his room.
it? Okay. Excellent. How do you feel now that we've talked about it, Dad?
I'd say it's a solution.
Alright. How do you feel, Mom? Because the truth is, in all this interaction, you have to look at your roles. And Mom has fallen into a role of sympathizing. And correct me if I am seeing, and I need you to correct me if I'm wrong,
I'm just joking.
No.
that you've fallen into a role of feeling bad for her when she might be using your emotions.
Yeah, she probably does. I think she's 6 now, so we'll see.
A little different.
Who's that?
Yeah, she's a lot older.
Stop
but
kicking me.
I think because she's getting bigger and because we have the other 2 younger ones, it's better for her to be in her room more and get used to the idea because there's just not enough space and I get uncomfortable because I hate getting claustrophobic with them. He doesn't mind it so much, but it's me really that's especially in the summer.
What do you hear in Anthea's tone? What do you read from what she's saying besides the words? What do you read from her emotions?
You know, what I read from her emotions, that she is guilty
Yeah.
because there would be room in the bed. She didn't take up 2/3 of it.
That is my space. Alright. No, logistically, even if you put all of us alongside each other the way people lay in a bed, there's not enough room for the 3 bodies.
I mean, the 4 of us managed to make it work with about a single size bed.
What do you think will happen when you get older, Delilah?
It has to get out of her bed and sleep in the
Ah. And Delilah, what do you think's different between now and then?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so imagine when you grow up, how do you think you're going to feel differently than you feel now?
Stronger.
You think you're going to be stronger. Excellent. Well, now that you're back, David, I'd like to...
And by the way, I'm a little sad right now.
You're a little what?
Sometimes I'm sad, but you don't know that. It's just sad inside of my body, and outside it's happy. Sometimes
Oh, that's a really good way of expressing yourself.
like right now.
Would you like to talk about why you're sad? Besides the fact that we're in a session?
No.
All right. Well, David, when you hear her say, and she's talking about the future, a few minutes ago she started talking about they're getting older now. Do you hear an emotion of sadness that her kids are getting older?
Yes.
Yes? I'm putting words in your mouth, huh?
No, there's. I mean, it's there. We've had conversations about it. You know, every time she sees a baby.
How do you feel about that, Anthea?
It's true. I mean, I like the time with them because, especially with them in school, I don't see them as much anymore. So it's kind of like our time together.
So you're thinking of that as bonding time.
Yeah. Yeah, even though it's not a lot, but I mean, we bond just by being in the same bed as grown-ups. Never mind them being kids, and
Yeah.
kids have a whole different way of looking at life, and everything seems a lot scarier, lonelier, because they don't know what's going on.
All right.
Why are you under the table? Can you come here? We're almost done.
Trying to do this.
Okay.
All right, this is a tough one. Are you ready for some tough questions, young lady?
You ready?
At the beginning of the session, your mom says you don't listen so much. Why do you think she says that?
Because sometimes I don't listen and I'm still playing.
Can you think of a specific time that happened? Okay, could you tell us about it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It happened earlier today. I wanted to help her and she told me to go inside and I didn't go inside.
Okay. Dad, why don't you tell us? How do you think that made your mom feel?
I don't know.
You don't know how that made her feel?
I think it made her a little mad.
You think it made her mad?
A
Dad?
little.
Why do you think she didn't go inside when Anthea asked her to?
She's very headstrong. She wants to do what she wants to do. And a lot of times there's good intentions behind that. But I think it's hard, especially when you're younger, to see the difference between good intentions and good actions. So, you know, even when you have the best intentions, you don't realize you might be getting more in the way than you could help.
Yeah.
This is for
That makes the whole situation mucky. It's hard to be the parent in that situation and say, you know, I want to do this quicker or easier because whatever it may be. Either maybe something could break, maybe it won't get done right, or maybe we're just short on time and we need to get this done. But I see that you want to help, but we can't have you help right now.
Excellent. Why don't you tell us what you think when you hear that? Because you look like you said you wanted to say something. If you want to hold on to it, we can ask your mommy.
to it because I didn't hear much of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was excellent analysis. But now you've heard it. How do you feel? Now we've heard how she thinks you feel. We've heard how he thinks you feel. Why don't you tell us all how you felt?
So, contextually, to be fair, a lot of times she'll say, I want to help you, and then you will give her a set task that would be helpful, and she will not do that. Or she will start for 30 seconds and then say, can I do this instead? And you're like, no, I needed the help with this. And now I'm going to go do this.
Because
over
I
here.
saw a sand thing. We have sand here and I wanted to make a sand castle. I saw a sand
But
castle.
did you hear what your mommy said?
So, Davey,
What do you think your mommy just said?
She said that sometimes I asked her to help and then 30 seconds and then I asked her to do something else.
So, how do you think that makes her feel when that happens?
I think she feels a little sad.
You think she feels a little sad? But is that how you mean to make her feel?